Let me tell you what I know for a fact. You can't be great before you're good. And you can't be good before you're bad. And you can't be bad unless you're willing to try. And it's all belief in yourself first. Folks, if you want to go for the gold and you want to be the big dog, you find something you got a passion about, that you'd be willing to do it for nothing if somebody feeds your family. And then you believe in yourself and you go for it, and you go for the gold and never quit and never give up. The power of a made-up mind. Nobody can stop you. And thank God that we live in America. God bless.
Our next Wall of Fame award is named in honor of a man whose perseverance in the face of adversity inspired countless others and helped lay the foundations of this company. Despite numerous health problems, he never complained, and he never let his circumstances get him down. The Ronnie Kirkland Perseverance Award celebrates those with the determination to overcome odds and the resolve to find success for themselves and others. The honoree embodies Ronnie's never-quit attitude and instills that drive throughout his or her team. Though Ronnie is now gone, his good humor, strength, and dedication will live on, not only in this award, but in the impact he had on so many lives. Please welcome back Vice President of Field Development and Support, Daryl Starkweather, to present the 2022 Ronnie Kirkland Perseverance Award.
For those of you who have never had the pleasure of meeting Ronnie, the video clip you just watched is just a really small glimpse of his greatness. The late, much-loved Ronnie Kirkland inspired us all with his example of triumphing over circumstances with a smile on your face and a willingness to help others, no matter how hard your own struggles may be. And this year, we recognize two honorees who truly live up to Ronnie's legacy. However, before we talk about this year's recipient, I would like to invite national consultant Karen Kirkland Roberts to help me present this year's winner. Karen? Right here. Great. All right, we can do this.
Yes.
This couple's life was as normal as any at Ambition last year. But after a visit to the doctor to find a remedy for severe headaches, they were faced with their biggest challenge, a cancerous brain tumor requiring immediate surgery. The odds were stacked against him. At least that's what the doctors thought. He had a different plan. When most of us would have found reasons to quit or doubt, he never did. He possessed the power of a made-up mind. He was going to beat this. His positive outlook never wavered. And much to his wife's dismay, he kept on working. As a matter of fact, he was still working his business while the nurses were trying to prep him for surgery. Post-surgery, he was working again in the recovery in the ICU. Incredibly, just 30 days after brain surgery, he showed up in Houston to support a power rally. And he blew everyone away with his positivity, his passion for Ambit, and helping others. And although he was the one who underwent the surgeries and the chemotherapy treatment, his wife and partner was there every step of the way. She helped him manage his business when she could force him to rest. She was his rock. Life, much like Ambit, requires a team to be successful, and the success they enjoy today is because of what they have persevered together. Please join us in honoring this year's Ronnie Kirkland Perseverance Award winner, national consultants Sherry and Justin Title.
recipients of Ronnie's award. I'm proud of each and every one of you for what you've done. But this is close to my heart. Justin was like a son to Ronnie and I. Ronnie loved Justin with all his heart, and he would be so proud of him. And here stands a man that the day after Ronnie passed, he's never stopped. Every week he calls to check on me and take care of me. And I'm just so very proud of you.
Someone brought that to you.
Oh my. Just give me a second real quick. Oh. I love all of you too. And I'm so glad they gave me a clock to look at. Okay, I gotta compose myself. Oh my gosh. Wow. I know you guys have seen me cry before, but I'm gonna cry a lot today. Ambition is really important to me, but I gotta tell you first and foremost, this whole journey started in the early 90s when Philip Eckhart took me to Atlanta, Georgia, to Ronnie's intensified training, and I met Ronnie, and it was an instant bond that we always had. And I have a lot of things to talk to you about, and I had no idea for certain that I was going to receive the reward today, and every year that it's presented, I always cry. But I wanted to be prepared. My birthday is September 22nd. I'm the last day of Virgo. I'm heavily OCD. I'm so organized that I actually organize the letters CDO. And in case I had the honor to receive this award, there was several things I wanted to make sure that I shared with you, and I knew it was going to be really emotional for me. So I played sneaky yesterday without Kristen and Daryl and Eric finding me backstage. But I went to the AV guys and I gave them a slide deck of some things I want to share with you today, and it's very important to me. So I'm not sure what you can see. Did you see the very first picture that I flashed of Ronnie? Yeah. That was a picture of Ronnie and I when he received the very first inaugural Ronnie Kirkland Perseverance Award, and I went up to him and I cried. It was crazy. But this next picture that I'm sharing with you is the last picture of Ronnie and I at Ambition. And I know I did message Kristen, and she was probably wondering why I was asking for it. But when Ronnie was sick and not doing well, I called Chris Chambliss and I said, it's really important that we go visit Ronnie in Florida. And if anyone of you know me really well, you know that I like to punk and play around and have fun. And I begged with Karen, I said, please do not tell Ronnie that we're coming. And Karen did, and Ronnie was so excited. And if anyone knows Ronnie, his personality is fantastic. And he was looking outside like expecting a FedEx truck. And Chris and I showed up at their house in Mexico Beach, Florida. It was a great surprise, and there was great pictures, but I couldn't find them. But I wanted to show you these two pictures here. And then the next set of pictures I want to show you, first is my beautiful wife, Sherry. Our original ambient journey started, she was actually, ironically, my very first customer. And I lived in Austin, she lived in Dallas, and I knew the business well, and I called her, asked her for a favor. I said, I need her help to become my customer. We had just started dating. It was a good test because she said yes. And then she got involved in the business. And I'm so glad that we got the award today, and I hate that she's not here right now, but I'm definitely the extrovert in the family that Rose talks about, and I'm the one talking, and Sherry's the introvert. I don't think she's ever held an ambit mic and spoke into it, but she is the glue that makes our business rock, and I love her dearly. Even though I get recognition, it's Sherry that does the work, so realize she's the boss and she gets things done. The second picture I want to show you is our oldest daughter, Shelly. She's an incredible daughter, a fantastic wife, and an incredible mother. But so important to me last year, she was recognized with her own yellow millionaire jacket from all her efforts. Not just because we were successful in Ambit, it's because she's like her mother and gets things done. This next picture is going to start me crying. But this is our middle daughter, Mary. And last year, after I was diagnosed with brain cancer, and I got home, and we were dealing with that, Mary got diagnosed with breast cancer. And we've been all through that. And this week, we've had a little setback, and we're trying to figure out her new health problems, but I love her. She's my assistant. And when I was in the hospital the first 2 nights, the nurses came to me and said, Mr. Tuttle, you need to put your computer away. You have a brain tumor, and we don't want you to have a seizure. And Mary was in the hospital with me, making sure everything got done in our Ambit business and everyone got paid that needed to get paid. And last but not least is our youngest son, Hunter. I love him. He's a trip. He's a Gen Zer all the way. And when I was listening to the speaker yesterday about his dad saying, when I give you the lawnmower, you bring it back cleaned and gassed up. Well, Hunter doesn't know what a lawnmower is. But I've taught him the same lesson when it comes to vehicles. And I said, anytime you borrow somebody's car, you clean it, wash it, and fill it with a tank of gas and say, thank you very much. And he's learned that great lesson. Now, Shelly, this is Shelly's kids, my grandkids. Alyssa's on the left and Bennett's on the right. And I'm not on social media, but I know several of you have saw me give Alyssa her Jeep for her 16th birthday. Woo! But I love these kids. They're awesome. And all my friends that I play hockey with call me Title. My really good friends call me JT, but these kids call me Zadie. It's Yiddish for grandfather. And Bennett one day said that his friends were, what's a Zadie? He's like, it's my Zadie, my grandfather. But the funniest thing I need to tell you about Bennett is he was born right about when we were starting Ambit Energy, and Shelly was so good working at home, and I'm so proud of everything that she's done. But Bennett one day was in the closet playing toys, and he had a little phone with him, and he was saying, press 1 for English, like TPV. So I want to prepare you for this next picture, but last year at Ambition, we were here, and I had wicked headaches the few weeks before Ambition and while at Ambition, and I don't take any pain medicine, but I was taking Aleve and Advil and Tylenol like they were M&Ms, and I knew it was a problem when I had a bottle in my truck and I was taking it all day long and every day, and I ended up going to the doctor, and they took my blood pressure, and it was 210 over 160. And my doctor said, I need to give you some medicine because I'm concerned that you're going to have a stroke. And I said, okay, go ahead. We couldn't get it down, and I could see the panic look on his face. He's like, Justin, I need to call the ambulance, and you need to go to the hospital and get scanned. And I put my hand up, and I said, hold on a second, Doc. I'm a hockey player. I drove here, and I'm not leaving on a gurney, but I'm happy to go to the hospital and get scanned. I drove to the hospital, got scanned, drove home. They called Sharon, and they're like, he needs emergency brain surgery. And this was me right after Ambition. And if you happen to notice my mask, it has an Ambit logo on it. But I also had 32-inch scar cut into my head, and they did my brain surgery. But I have to tell you one other thing. When I was in the hospital, I knew I was in the right hospital because I woke up the morning after my surgery And I want you to notice the color of socks that I had on. That wasn't by design, it was by fate. And God was really good and sent a lot of angels to save me. But if you notice the Afghan that I have on me, Karen made it for me before this happened, but Sherry knows how much I love that Afghan because I actually sleep under it every night. And Sherry brought it to the hospital, and I woke up and I saw those yellow socks, and I told the nurses the importance of those yellow socks to me, and I explained what it was in ambit, but you're all gonna laugh, and this is so relevant. Once I explained the yellow socks and why they're really important to me, I told them that I had the power of a made-up mind, and the reason why I do is because Ronnie Kirkland's beautiful wife, Karen, made me this Afghan, and in ICU, I made 2 nurses sit beside me and watch the Ronnie Kirkland Perseverance Award acceptance speech. I didn't recruit him, but it was staying true to something that I've told Karen every training that I've ever done in Ambit Energy, and I always talk about Ronnie and I always cry, but I would call Karen after every training, and I just want to let you know, Karen, that Ronnie's memory lives on. He's gone today, but Ronnie is not forgotten. And that's why I always get so emotional about Ronnie, because I just love him. I have a few more things that I want to share with you. But at Ambition, about 5 years ago, Karen came up to me and gave me Ronnie Kirkland's National Consultant ring. I'm really going to cry now. And I always wore Ronnie's ring in remembrance of him to Ambit events. I thought it was really important. But if you know me well, I'm not a big jewelry person. I wear a rubber wedding ring. But after I got home, I went to my jewelry box that my mom gave me, and I pulled out Ronnie's ring and I put it on, and I've never taken it off since I got out of the hospital. But I text Karen a picture, and I need to come close because I want to read what I said. But I said, "This is Ronnie Kirkland's NC ring," and I said, "Karen, I feel the power of his made-up mind running through my veins. Love, JT." And her response could make me cry, but I have to read it. She said, "You're welcome. He loved you like a son and would want it to go to no one else. And I wear it super proud every day. But the reason why I wanted to put this in there is I know Ronnie loved me like a son. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that Ronnie loved Karen like I love Sherry. And I wanted her picture up here because she's awesome. And I call her all the time, every week, to check on her because I want to make sure she's safe. And she's got an incredible new husband, Mike, and he's been absolutely awesome. And we're so excited to have you part of our family. And I would be at a total miss if I didn't add one last picture here, and that's to Debbie Burrell. I know Ronnie loved me like I was his son, but he loved you like you were his daughter, and I wanted you in here. And this is when I flew to the training last year, a week out of being in the hospital, a month out of being out of surgery, to go to support Kevin and Rose Duncan and Julian Emerson Fuentes. And I actually had to get sneaky to get there and pretend like I had cancer treatment at MD Anderson, but I wanted to be there, and I was going to be there come hell or high water. Now, for those of you that have never met Ronnie, never listened to his video, I wanted to impart a few things that I learned from Ronnie, and I will hear his words behind me as I share this last thing with you. But Ronnie has some famous quotes. He was a wonderful man, and he was very consistent in what he did and what he said. First, and he'd tell me all the time, be bold, and great and mighty forces will come your aid. And I truly believe that. The second one is the power of a made-up mind. and I definitely embody that for sure. I know when they first talked to Sherry and I, they freaked us out. They said Justin's tumor is called a glioblastoma, GBM, and just so you know, 99% of the people that have this type of tumor are dead within 2 years. And don't think that didn't rock my world, but my response is, the good news is I'm used to being in the 1%, and I'll stay there in this too. And it's interesting that I talked to you about the power of the made-up mind. When I was in the hospital, I was in ICU for 2 weeks, but after a week, I identified myself as what I call a hospital rat. And that is, I smelled really bad, and I'm used to taking a shower in the morning and in the evening, and I didn't for a week. And I asked the nurses, I said, please, can you take me to have a shower? And they're like, well, if you can walk, we'll take you. And I said, well, don't you have one of those PT belts you can hook up to me? And they're like, we do. So she took me to the shower, everything went fine, and after the shower I said, do you have a PT room here in the hospital? They're like, yeah, we do. Why? I said, do they have stairs in the PT room? Yeah. I said, take me there. We walked there. We walked to the front of the room. I opened the door and I told the nurse, I said, stay here. I walked over the stairs, up the stairs, turned around, walked back down, walked back over to the lady, and she stared at me. And she said, do you mind if I swear? Sure. Now, I won't swear here. But she's like, oh my God, you just had brain surgery. I was like, yes, but I have a power of made-up mind. Yeah. Ronnie used to tell me all the time, chin up and chest out. And the last thing is, he'd always say he's the happiest man alive. And I have a respectful continuation of Ronnie's comment. I'm not the happiest man alive. I'm happy to be alive. If you're ever around me, people say to me, it's great to see you. And my response is always, it's better to be seen than viewed. If you've ever been to any of my trainings, I had to end this way. But I want to encourage each and every one of you, regardless of your adversities, to never, ever give up. A picture's worth 1,000 words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. But there's a moral to every story. So in ending today, I'd like to say, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for this fantastic honor and allowing me to go way longer than you ever expected me to go. But please never give up. Love you all. Thank you very much.